Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the NCAA Week 3 matchup between the Louisville Cardinals and the Florida State Seminoles is our expert host in the field, live from Atlanta. It's Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? Football is finally back. We got a Friday night game with this one. Louisville, Florida State, Friday, September 16th, 7:30 Eastern. It's going to be a great matchup here with the Cardinals and the Seminoles. Can't wait to watch it. And most importantly, man, I can't wait to predict who I think is going to win this upcoming ballgame.
Absolutely. And everyone watching or listening to our podcast, stay tuned for that prediction at the end of the episode. But first, I just want to say thank you. All of us here at 100 Yards of Football are thankful to you for sharing our show with your friends, colleagues, neighbors, and other to let them know about 100 Yards of Football, because that's how we grow and that's how we've been able to grow. So you can do the like, share, subscribe thing. Please, join us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and of course, over on our podcast where you can just look up 100 Yards of Football and you'll see our 50-yard line football. So thank you so much again for sharing us. And if this is your first time watching the show, welcome. Well, Louisville versus Florida State. What do we think is going to happen here, Mr. Logan Landers?
Well, let's talk about these teams here. Let's break down the Louisville Cardinals first, what they did this past week. A close win, but a win nonetheless over the UCF Knights, 20-14. Like I said, Louisville had a good day. They shut out the Knights in the third and fourth quarters. And for the team, Malik Cunningham, 14-29, just over 200 yards, 201 on the day. A 6.9 average, no touchdowns, no interceptions, so kept it clean, couldn't get the score, but helped out his team nonetheless. As for the rushing game, Cunningham again, that's where he really came into play. 17 carries, 121 yards, and he did get in the end zone himself. He ran for 7.1 on average, so a really productive day for this young man. Also, Tion Evans, 19 carries for 75 with a score right behind him. And also, Jalen Mitchell had 3 carries for 26. All in total, the Louisville Cardinals ran the ball 45 times for 226 yards. Very impressive, to say the least. The receiving core, like I said, not too much to speak of. Leading receiver was Tyler Hudson, 3 catches for 67 yards, a 22.3 average on the day for him. And for the defense, they really did well. Like I said, they pitched a shutout in the second half. Kendrick Duncan, man, a really good day for him. 13 tackles led the team. In terms of sacks, they had 4 of them as a team. Leading the way was Diaby with 1.5. He also had 1.5 tackles for loss, and they had 6 of those as a squad. Diaby was also second on the team in terms of tackles with 6, and also Sonogo was behind him with 6 as well. As for interceptions, Jarvis Brownlee got on the action with 1 on the day. And like I said, just a really good game overall for the Louisville Cardinals, getting the close win in this one. Looking a little bit further at the third down efficiency, they were 4 of 14. Need to get that up a little bit more this upcoming week. In terms of, like I said, penalties, in terms of how many flags they have thrown their way, they had 12 for 98 yards. You got to cut that down this upcoming week. You can't have that many. That could be crucial if you win. If you lose, like I said, just 1 turnover as a team, not bad at all. And they were really good. Led the time possession just by a little bit, though, 32-14, and able to get the win nonetheless in a close, like I said, 20-14 over UCF in a game that a lot of people, even myself, I picked UCF to win that one. So a kind of an upset in some ways, but a good win for the Cardinals nonetheless. Let's talk about these Florida State Seminoles, man. We all know the last game they had against the LSU Tigers. My goodness, what a game that was, man. What a game that was, that they were able to win on a super close ball game, 24-23. We all know the extra point that was blocked at the end to seal the game, that had the fans going wild, that had our guy, Bobby Butler, probably doing some jumping jacks in his living room, excited, and just a great win for the program. Put them at 2-0 on the season. Jordan Travis, quarterback, had a solid day, 20-33, 260, close to an 8-yard average, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Very clean day for him. The running game, they really did well, 38 carries as a team for 132 yards with a touchdown. Leading rusher was Ward, 16 carries for 49. Behind him was Travis, the quarterback, 8 carries for 31. Receiving core, Wilson led the way, 7 catches for 102 and 2 scores. Watch out for him this ball game. Behind him was Johnny Wilson and Micah Pittman. Both of those gentlemen had 3 catches on the day. As for the defense, that's where it really helped out. That's where this team really was able to get it going. Only allowed 3 points in the first 2 quarters of this game. Kind of let up a little bit later in the game, but you have Renardo Green leading the way with 8 tackles for the program that night, and also 4 total team sacks. You'd like to see that, with Jared Verse getting 2 of those, as well as 2.5 tackles for loss. So he is going to be a big factor in this ball game. As for the team, like I said, they didn't get any interceptions, but they looked really well, man. This is a Florida State team that is rejuvenated, ready to go, and just excited. Close to 400 yards total offense. Wasn't able to get there, but very close to it. Penalties, only had 7. I think you can cut down on those just a little bit. Not too bad, but you can definitely work on that a little bit more. And also held the ball for 34 minutes. Got that time possession, got that win, and was able to really help out and defeat a solid LSU Tiger team who, Jaden Daniels had a pretty good night, and they were really solid overall. So looking at these 2 matchups here, I think it's going to be a great game. Like I said, it's going to be a Friday night game under the lights, so it's going to be fun to watch. This Florida State team is very solid, right? They're averaging 35.5 points a game so far on the young season, and they're only giving up close to 15. So very efficient for this team. And as for the Cardinals, man, they need to get their offense in gear. Only about 13.5 points a ball game, and they're allowing close to 23. So I'm going to go with the final score in this one. Bobby, if you're watching this one, you're going to love it. I got the FSU Seminoles getting the win 35 and the Louisville Cardinals 10. I think Florida State's just got a really good program. They've got a good team. I think they're going to get to a hot start this year, 3-0 on the year. You can't get much better than that. And so I'm going to go with Florida State getting the win in this upcoming Friday night ball game.
Whew, Florida State. I know, again, like you were saying, Bobby is going to be very excited about that. We want to hear from all of our Louisville fans. Tell us in the comments, do you agree? Do you think that Florida State is going to get the win, or do you think Louisville can pull this one out? We would love to hear from you. And what are you really excited about this particular game? Are you going to the game? Are you going to be in the stands? Are you going to be outside the stadium tailgating? Are you going to be at your favorite sports bar watching, or maybe watching from home? Let us know where you're watching from and what you think the final score will be in the comments over on YouTube, on Facebook, or over on LinkedIn. And if you're listening to our podcast, first off, thank you. But if you're not listening to the podcast, come and join us. You can listen anywhere that you listen, over on Apple, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, anywhere that you love listening to podcasts, and we will be there for you. And we also love for you to leave us a quick review, especially over on Apple, because everyone who leaves us reviews on Apple, even if it's just, hey, I watched the show, guys, send it. That's all you got to do. That helps us so much in those little algorithms that help to get our show discovered by more fans and more amazing football people. So thank you a lot for that. And thank you for everyone who's already subscribed to the show. We love you, and we watch that subscriber count go up every single week. So thank you so much for that. That's why we're here, and that's why we do this every single week, so that you have new football coverage to listen to, and so you have all of the information that you need to decide what games you're going to watch and where you think you're going to go with it. Especially all of our fantasy football people, you need that information to kind of decide what's going on. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Logan Landers, for that incredible review of this NCAA Week 3 matchup between the Louisville Cardinals and the Florida State Seminoles. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and stay tuned because we'll be back with another live